Well, this is part two of this little informational piece here. Most of the information comes from William Blum regarding the National Endowment for Democracy, which I referred to in my previous video. So please watch that one first, because it won't make any sense unless you do. So in a multitude of ways, the National Endowment for Democracy meddles in the internal affairs of numerous foreign countries by supplying funds, technical know-how, training, educational materials, computers, faxes, copiers, automobiles, and so on to selected political groups within those countries. NED programs generally impart the basic philosophy that working people and other citizens are best served under a system of free enterprise, class cooperation, collective bargaining, minimal government intervention in the economy, unless, of course, it is the U.S. interfering in someone else's economy, and opposition to socialism in any way, shape, or form. The description of one of the 1996 NED grants includes as one of its objectives, build Union Management Corporation. Like many things that NED says, this sounds innocuous, if not positive. But these, in fact, are ideological code words for meaning keep labor agitation down, don't rock the boat. NED has funded centrists and rightists labor organizations to help them oppose those unions which were too militantly pro-worker. This has taken place in France, Portugal, and Spain, among other places. In short, the NED's programs are in sync with the basic needs and objectives of the New World Order's economic globalization, just as the programs have for years been on the same wavelength with U.S. foreign policy. NED's statements of principles and objectives adopted in 1984 asserts that no endowment funds may be used to finance the campaigns of candidates for public office. But the ways to circumvent the spirit of such prohibition are, of course, not difficult to come up with, because in many other countries there is also hard money and soft money involved in elections. As described in the Elections and Intervention chapter, NED successfully manipulated elections in Nicaragua in 1990 and Mongolia in 1996. It helped overthrow democratically elected governments in Bulgaria in 1990 and in Albania in 1991, and worked to defeat the candidate for Prime Minister of Slovakia in 2002. And, of course, NED heavily funded members of the opposition to President Hugo Chavez in Venezuela to subvert his rule and to support a referendum to unseat him. Additionally, in the 1990s and afterwards, NED supported a coalition of groups in Haiti known as the Democratic Convergence, who were united in their opposition to Jean-Bertrand Aristide and his progressive ideologies while he was in and out of office as president of that country. NED would have the world believe that it's only teaching the ABCs of democracy and elections to people who don't know them. But in virtually all the countries named above, in whose electoral process NED intervened, there had already been free and fair elections. The problem from NED's point of view is that elections had been won by political parties not on the NED's favorites list. And of course I could go on and on. NED's reports carry on endlessly about democracy, but at best it's a modest measure of mechanical political democracy they have in mind, not economic democracy, nothing that aims to threaten the powers that be. In between 1990 and 1992, the endowment donated $250,000 of taxpayers' money to the Cuban-American National Foundation, the ultra-fanatic anti-Castro Miami group. And this foundation, in turn, financed Luis Posada Carrillas, one of the most prolific and pitiless terrorists of modern times, who had been involved in blowing up of a Cuban airliner in 1976, which killed 73 people. So there you have it. That's what the National Endowment for Democracy is all about. Thanks for listening.